Good morning, people. Well, whoever's watching, I'm really documenting this for me at this point. But glory be to the Most High. I'm glad to be here another day, and I'm gonna go back into the stories that I've been telling. This is basically my testimony. I'm walking you through a little bit about myself, so you can get a sense of who you're dealing with, or who you speaking, or who's speaking to you, and a little bit about myself. Period. So that's what it is. So I wound up going to Bear Hill for committing a robbery, as I said, and I wound up doing about 2 years, and they gave me 2 years and 3 years post supervision behind it, right? So at the time in Bear Hill, I had no problems. Nobody gave me no problems. I guess because of my size, I've seen a lot of violence in that place, but didn't come near me. But I always was praying, and when you're anointed, even though the devil's putting you through so much, God still have His hand on you. All right. So I wound up getting with this dude named Sean. They started calling us the Shack Brothers because we used to lift the shack. I kid you not. People used to be amazed. We'll come out during rec and be in a on weight pick from morning to night. I was solid, so I wouldn't wanted to mess with me either. Most people didn't even think to try me. You know what I mean? Unless they was like around my size or a little bigger. That's the only people who ever said anything funny. Most other people acted intimidated, which I used to hate because I'm a nice person. All right, so I'm gonna go on to tell you a story that happened to me. I'm gonna keep it spiritual, so I'm gonna get into. I'll try to stay on spiritual components of things only. I remember one day I was in my cubicle in Bear Hill, and I, I had a dream that felt like it wasn't a dream. I saw my cubicle the same way. I'm standing up in my cubicle at my desk because there's a desk there, and I'm doing something on my desk. I forget what it was, and then some dude come up to me, quiet. He don't see nothing. He turns in front of me. He sits there. He's staring at me like this. So I'm like, yo, you need help? I'm a nice person. You need help? You want anything? But he looks pale and skinny. So I'm like, you need anything? Next thing you know, I'm standing in front of my cubicle. He comes towards me and buried his face in my chest. He buried his face in my chest like, and went into my body. And I'm like, oh, and I woke up, right? I believe the Lord was showing me that there were spirits in this building, or a spirit tried to get into me in the building. I don't think it did because I felt nothing normal and I still was able to pray normally, and I didn't feel anything. So if you could check yourself spiritually through prayer, I guess, through worship and prayer, if nothing's manifesting, you pretty much good. So I pretty much was good. I never manifested in a way like demons had to come pouring out of me. I never played with occult items, nothing to that nature to make demons, to give demons a real home inside of me. So you might have manipulation, you might have them attempt to come into you, but unless you don't open doors, you should be safe. Opening doors means playing with any form of witchcraft or the occult. You open doors, then you're gonna have an infestation in your home and inside of you. All right. So I'm gonna move on from there. I get out of prison after 2 years, and I got out quick because I didn't really get in trouble, and I stayed to myself. I never was gang related, never joined a gang, never was intimidated into joining a gang. That's just not me. I always detested gangs, and I always been religious and spiritual. And in Proverbs, it always speaks about not joining with evil men, or not casting your lot with evil men, or not making pledges, or not joining secret societies and all this crap. It speaks a lot about that in Proverbs. All right, and it speaks a lot about it in like Psalms and stuff like that. So, all right, I get to I go home and I started messing with this really wicked woman towards me. She was really wicked towards me. For no reason. First, she was just mean to her family and people around me. Like she used to do things like let the door slam in niggas' face, excuse me, in dude's face, and I would have to be like, why you did that, dude? Looking at me like, what's wrong with your girl? I don't know. This is the type of person she was. Curse her mother out, curse people out on phone, belligerent. She was a very evil person at heart. and she didn't regard the things of the Most High. And at these times, I was so caught up into getting booty because she was a big booty, beautiful girl. I was so caught up into that, I wasn't seeing the spirit. Like now, I'm different. Now I don't care how you look. If your spirit ain't right, I don't want you near me. This is how I am now. I wish I was like that back then. I would have saved myself a lot of hurt and pain. Well, anyway, what I was saying, yeah, I wound up violating because she got me violated after I got out of prison. I was, like I said, I was on 2 years. I did 2 years inside, which was about 18 months, and then out here, I was on post supervision for 3 years. She had got me violated because I wanted to break up with her. I wanted to get away from her once I started learning who she was. By then, we had a daughter. It was just madness. That was a spiritual attack in itself, but I'm not here to speak on those type of things. So she got me violated, and I did nothing. I did nothing to her. She got me locked up 3 times just off over the phone. I was at work 2 times. She got me locked up. One time she got me locked up. I was up the hill, literally just up the hill. We was talking on the phone. I had to stop talking on the phone and everything. Well, now I went to this place called Willard Sharp. Now Willard Sharp was supposed to be a mental asylum back in the past. This is located in Ithaca, New York. Willard Sharp, located in Ithaca, New York. It used to be a mental asylum. Now it is a SHARP program for people who don't want to do a full violation on a bed. That's the best I can say it. You look it up yourself. I'm not going to go into it. Well, I was there and I heard all the stories about it being a mental asylum and this, that, and the third. And I was sleeping on the bottom bunk, and I had a roommate who slept on the top bunk. That guy used to kill me in chess. He was really good. Not many people used to murder me in chess. It's just 2 of them in my lifetime who I could always think back on and think, oh, I got to get better. Thinking about how good they was. Well, anyway, um, I asked the Lord, I wonder how it was here. I just said it offhandedly. I didn't think that I was going to go into the past. I was like, Lord, I wonder how it was here before all of this. I wonder how it was. I just said it. But that night, the night after I said that, I got woken up to whistles. Now I sat up on a rack. Now I'm on a regular bed, like a twin size bed, and there's so many of them near me. That's not how I went to sleep. We went to sleep. It was bunks and it was space. Now it was no space, and there's these racks, and it's an eerie feeling. And then these dudes ran past my rack, going towards what sounded like somebody was fighting to the right hand side of me, and it was blowing the whistle. And they had on blue uniforms with black trimming. If anybody know anything about Willard Shark in the past, did they have like a blue, like not this blue, it's like a little lighter blue with black trimmings going down the side of their uniform. All right. So they running by me to go address the situation. Then it's like I was able to go on a tour of the building. I saw people laying on their rack looking worn out. I saw people in like a day room area. They was playing cards and talking, and people pacing to themselves. It was a mental asylum. Then I saw this one crazy dude, and I knew he was really, really crazy because that's what the Spirit of the Lord told me, that this guy is really, really a mental person. And I saw him, and he saw me in a dream. And I was wondering, how did he see me? Because no one else could see me. It's like I knew I was in a dream, but he saw me, and I saw him. And then as he saw me, he was walking towards me, going crazy. He's talking to himself, bugging out. And then I floated up to the ceiling, and then I woke up. So I was shown that in a dream. I was shown Willard Sharp in a dream. All right, that the Willard Sharp being a mental asylum was confirmed to me by the Most High, by the Holy Spirit in a dream. These things been happening to me all my life. These dreams been happening to me all my life. And you know what? I can't escape it. All right. Just last night, I had to stay up all night and pray. All right. Pray and pray and pray at 4 o'clock in the morning, just because I was in some sort of battle. These battles come weirdly. You don't even know. Right. So, that's what I had to do. And, I've been praying every day, 3 o'clock in the morning, no problem. But last night, something was weird. And I had to go through the house and basically bless the house and pray over the whole house. Well, let me get back to, this story. I'm just giving you some context of this is just things that this is me. All right. This is what it is. no matter who don't understand it, who don't like it, people don't support you, people don't believe you. Yo, I'm not here for none of that. I'm just here to document what I know the Lord wants me to document. If it's just for me to see in the future or just for one or two people who will understand and believe, then I'm cool with that. All right. So now I get paroled to my aunt's house. 847 or 864, 874. Uh I want to say 874 Union Avenue, Bronx, New York, between Prospect and 156th Street or something like that. Well, I know 1010 Projects is right across the street down the block. That's all I know. And then on this side, going up towards the train on Union Avenue, that's where this building was, like in the middle of that block. So I moved to that building where I get paroled there, and I living with my uncles and my cousin. And at this time, I still was living like a hoish life, let's say, you know. So I wound up I wound up going through some real spiritual stuff here. I wound up getting attacked by what they call a succubus, but I don't think this was a succubus. I believe there was a witch, a warlock in this building, and aiding the demons was doing what it want through the building. All right. So I had my Bible, I always kept my Bible, always prayed, but I was also having sex with girls and not living right, smoking and all of that. But I always prayed and all of that. I prayed there and things of this nature still. So I started getting these sleep paralysis attacks. I'll be laying there and I can't move. I'll be laying there and I can't move. It got to the point I had to meet the thing with the Bible in my hand and pray against it. A lot of times these back and forth things, or me knowing it was there and me praying, would last until 4 o'clock in the morning, would it depart. Then I could go to sleep. One time when I was laying down with my girl, and I heard bagpipes, like Irish bagpipes, like come into the room. And I knew I had to get up and meet this thing and fought it. One time this thing was on me so heavy for a long time. Got me. And I'm dead for like a long time. It didn't get off me until my uncle came out the room. And then it lifted up off me. I was so tight. I sat up like, oh, I wanted to get that thing. But I wasn't fasting. I wasn't praying. I wasn't preparing myself for this type of fight. All right. The one thing about workers of iniquity and workers of darkness, they actually be on their stuff hard. Meanwhile, Christians can't stay on their stuff hard. This is a reality. All right, because I believe that was a witch. I don't think that was normal. I think if it was a demonic spirit, yes, but it was aided by a warlock who lived in this building. I really believe that. All right. One time I'm laying on the floor in the same apartment and I felt the energy what felt like a whole grown man step over me and walk into the couch and walk into the wall. So that let me know that the whole building was experiencing this. If it could walk into the wall and went next door, all right, so I don't know what other people do to fight spiritual war, but I couldn't because I wasn't strong enough. I anointed the walls and I did all of that. But even if you anoint the walls and you do all of that, if you're not spiritually fasted, if you're not doing what it takes to grow in the spirit, you're gonna have to go find someone who is spiritually more inclined to get rid of certain things. Because some things come out with much prayer and fasting, as it says in the Bible. Can't just go anointing. Well, some spirits are weak, then their spirit it ain't gonna work like that. Especially if you got a witch or a warlock in the premises. You got a battle on your hands, and that's a fact. All right, so this place I went through a lot there, all the way up until we moved out because they have renovated 1104 Elder Avenue. That's where we originally was from. So they moved us to I believe 864 Union Avenue temporarily. Then, when they finished 1104 Elder Avenue, we moved back into 1104 Elder Avenue. I remember one day, that same spirit, I think I was out of its jurisdiction, like it couldn't reach me. I got the image of it in my mind. Oh, yeah, I got to tell you, I saw an image one day of what I think was the spirit or associated with the spirit. I saw a woman, like a woman holding a child. They were white, a white woman holding a child. I'm going to tell it the way it is, point blank, period. She was holding the child, And I've got that image in my mind's eye that was associated with this succubus spirit or warlock or whatever craft he was working against the building or against me. Because once they figure you have the light of God in you, you are prime attack. Yes, that's what I need to tell you too. One day, I'm laying in the room and I asked, "Is no one home?" I asked, because I'm like tired of getting attacked. I said, why y'all mess with me? I'm not messing with my uncle, my cousins. All I heard was, "Leave us alone," distinctly. Leave us alone. It didn't dawn on me about me praying my regular prayers and me reading my regular Bible like when I feel like it. It disturbs the spiritual world. Even a little bit of prayer and reading disturbs them. They don't want you praying and reading at all. I didn't. If I came into there and I didn't believe, I would have probably been safe. But you're not safe. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that all happened there. All right. So then yeah, I moved into 1104 Elder and I saw in my mind's eye the woman holding the child, but it was weak and it couldn't get to me. I think I was out of its jurisdiction, which further made me think this is more of a witch or a warlock. I'm doing it than a spirit, because I believe a spirit could follow you, but witches and warlocks are assigned to regions. I probably moved out of the area of that warlock's jurisdiction, and I think I saw the man because he had an altar in his house when he opened. He was a Mexican man, and he opened his door, and I saw an altar in the background to gods and candles and all of this crap, stuff that Elijah would have tore down and burnt up and stuff of this nature. All right, so I'm gonna leave y'all with this one right now because like I said, I don't want to make these too long, but this spiritual stuff is real. All right. At this point, I'm gonna say I started really giving myself to the Lord more, like after all of this, especially after dealing with that woman. And I came out of all of that. I had got a great job fixing boilers. I've been fixing boilers for over 10 years. I'm really good at it. And most of my life was uneventful until the day after 7 years, the Lord told me to leave my job. He told me that. He told me leave my job, and I wouldn't listen. I stayed an extra 3 years, and just it got worse and worse and worse there. When you don't listen to the Lord, He telling you certain things for a reason. I should have left when it was the seventh year. This was right before the pandemic. When I hit 7 years, it was like 2016, 2015. That's when the Lord told me leave that company, leave the job, because they were using me. They was making big money off of me and not really paying me anything and using me. I was working 16, 18-hour days, almost six days a week. All right, so it was not a good thing, and the Lord knows I was being taken advantage of. And I heard clear as day. I was making good money though. At the same time, all them hours, I was getting paid good money, at least $2,000 a week and over. True story. And the Lord still said, leave that job. And I did not listen, thinking about my bills, thinking about X and O and all of this stuff. Well, after 3 years of trying to stay, after the initial him telling me to leave, I couldn't stay no more. It became too much hell. They became too like in my face about not caring about my life and stuff like that. So I had to leave. All right. So I'm gonna leave y'all there. All I know is we need to listen to the Lord. If anything that my stories are saying is that we need to listen to the Lord. We need to have faith in the Lord. Put all our faith in Him, because you cannot do nothing outside of Him on your own successfully. If He ain't uplifting it, if He ain't blessing it, it's not going to work out. All right. If if He didn't call you to a certain thing, it's not going to work out. If He ain't got a wife to place in your life and you going out looking for a girl on your own or a man on your own, you're putting yourself in danger. All right. More than likely. I did that more than one time. And we're going to get into some more other stories later. But until next time, God be with you. Jesus is love and Jesus is wrath. So be careful. This is not a love gospel, because this is a judgment gospel too. Anybody speaking love all the time don't love you, because they'll tell you that God's judgment and wrath is serious. All right. I love you all. Peace be upon you. Peace be upon you in Yeshua HaMashiach's name. Until next time.